So if I wanted to go into a department, so this department here, for example, and look at what is that department's usage in this spike in October, you can now see what are all the users within that department, who's printed colour, who's printed black and white, what is the volume by the dates and the time of day. And so actually, if I wanted to target a user colour, like this user here, now we can just click on it, and we can see very quickly what's that user doing. And we can actually see over here that actually it's not a consistent amount of printing that user does every month. It's actually just all generated by this one spike on the 21st of October. And actually it's all at the start of the day. So now if we want to see what does that user do on that day, we can simply just go over to this other tab and see, right, what is their usage? And you can see, well, it's PDFs that they're doing. They've done nearly 15,000 PDFs in that one day. All of it was colour. And if we select this bar here, we can see actually all of it was over 20 pages in size. So it suggests that user's done a very lot of large jobs in that one day. And we can even go as far down to seeing, right, what's the file name of the jobs that user was printing on that day. But we can see that what's the file names, we can see what's the cost of those jobs, we can see are they doing it in colour mono, are they doing it in duplex. And so you can get a very quick feeling for whether that's bad printing behaviour. So, if it is if it's a lot of simplex jobs, well, we should probably have a word with them about double-siding their jobs. If they're doing those jobs on a desktop printer, well, we should probably have a word with them about doing those large jobs in the print room or on a more cost-efficient device rather than a desktop device. You really don't want users printing anything like emails in black and in colour. And so here we can police that by saying, right, well, let's look at all of the jobs that people are printing, and here is the emails, and if we select those emails, we can now see that actually in this 1 year 447,000 pages of emails were printed in colour, which is staggering. And if I just go over to the cost, you can see here that of that volume, those 447,000 pages, £10,000 was being spent on colour, printing emails in colour, where only £2,600 was being spent on printing emails in black and white. So we can switch all of those colour emails to black and white, or make a massive cost saving. The other thing we can do if we wanted to kind of police the print policy, something we're seeing a lot in this day and age, a lot more people using the internet, and so if we wanted to look at, so we go over here and go to the usage, and when we go to see all of the print jobs, the cost of print jobs by document type, we can see, unsurprisingly, that most of the cost was coming through from PDF jobs. Yes, a large percentage from Word. No file extension, that's probably mainframe printing. If you've got jobs coming directly from a mainframe to a printer, that's probably going through that. So maybe we want to target that process and look at all of that 39,000 pages of mainframe printing and see, is there a way to improve the way we're printing from that system, maybe a kind of output management style solution. We can see there's a lot of PowerPoint, Excel, emails coming through. There's £13,000, but here internet pages, about £7,500 of jobs are coming from the internet. And what we can do is, just with that selected now, we can go to the drill down and see what are the file names of those jobs coming from the internet. And if this wasn't anonymized, it would show probably the address of the page that was printed. And what we regularly see is that there's a lot of internet pages coming through from recipe sites, the BBC Good Food and allrecipes.co.uk. They come blazingly through here, and you can see all kinds of interesting things. You can see people printing things they clearly shouldn't be printing. What we can also do with User Analytics is give it to the customer, and the customer can access this whenever they want. And if they want to take ownership of policing a print policy or identifying bad printing behaviours, that they can do that. But also they can use it to recharge internally within their business. And so here we're looking at the finance tab. We can select a department, and we can select a billing period. And then it dynamically updates to show us all of the users within that department, all of the usage, the printing that they've done within that billing period, and it shows the cost. of all of those users with a complete breakdown and a summary of all the users printing in that department in that period. And so very quickly, very easily, the customer's IT manager or finance manager can just go in here, select each department, select the billing period, they can right click, they can send that to Excel, and they can recharge that head of that department, the £1,749 shown here, and they can give that head a breakdown to justify how they got to that cost. If you're saying to the head of human resources, right, we're going to charge you to £1,700 for your printing in this period, they're going to say, oh, right, okay, well, actually, if I can work with the users in my department to print more efficiently and actually print that report I print every week in black and white rather than colour, well, they can start taking ownership about reducing costs of their budget. And it's only when you transfer those costs to those departments can they really start to take accountability and ownership for reducing the cost of the printing. You can go into the unprinted tab of Use Analytics tool and see very quickly actually how much has been saved by implementing our print management solution. And here, if we look in October, £24,849 worth of jobs were deleted automatically by the system because they were never collected by users. So these were jobs that were printed, sat in a queue, and the user never got around to releasing them because they didn't need them. And that equated to £24,000 worth. And so there's your return on investment for the print management solution that you've invested in, is those savings every month. Regularly, you might get a compliance issue, a data breach, or you might get a user who's left the business. And if you want to see what jobs that user printed in that last week of their employment, without Use Analytics, it's very difficult indeed. But in Use Analytics, all we need to do is go into the search box here and type the name of that document. And it can even be, curriculum vitae, happy and potentially leaving. Now, because we've anonymized the information and job names are scrambled, it's not going to come up, but it will work here. So you can search by file name, you can search all recipes, BBC Good Food, you can search all kinds of things. So yes, a particular file name, and it will show you all the users who have printed a job with that file name or that keyword.